our quiet time meditation today. We're delighted to have everyone here. I am Reverend Jill, and our reading this morning before we go into the silence is from Mark Nepo's book, 7,000 Ways to Listen. In Japanese mythology, the crane becomes immortal at the age of 2,000 when it is done being a crane. And the tortoise becomes immortal at the age of 10,000 when it starts being a wave. So perhaps the purpose of experience is to wear us free of our names. Perhaps underneath all the distinctions we can imagine, all spiritual paths are one. All philosophies are one. All occupations and passions are one. Perhaps all of our ambitions and desires are like different cups dipping into the same well at center. And every name, every praise and blame is such a cup, each holding the same sweet water. Perhaps it doesn't matter what carries us to and from that well, but only that we drink. Could experience be for humans what erosion is for the elements? Is the purpose of experience over a lifetime to carry us to what matters and then wear us away till we become part of the sweet water the next generation drinks? If this is so, then what is the work of being human? There is no tangible answer, any more than we can ask fire why it burns. But like a crane flying steadily till its wings disappear, or a tortoise swimming mightily till its shell wears away, we can live our way into knowing. And so taking those beautiful words within, I invite you to take a breath and gently follow that breath in and out. As we move into our quiet time this morning. this room. I invite you to take a breath deeply in and out. And once again, in and out. And when you're ready, open your eyes, and this now concludes our meditation time. Thank you for being with us, and we'll be starting our service in about 15 minutes. Hope you can stay with us. I can hear it here.
I wasn't aware. It wasn't like I was intending. Get an apple cracker for you.
Are we live? We're live? Joe? We're live.
Oh, you want to start?
There's being a fire. Come together, heart and soul as we love together. Young and old, we will sing together. Together in one song. Come together. From different worlds we are drawn together. In our own way we can pray together. Together we are strong. I see God in you. You see God in me. One path, one vision, one family. Come together, dreams and hands we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are whole. Please be seated. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? So good to see everyone here this morning and everyone joining us online. Welcome to you as well. We're delighted to have so many folks joining us here today at Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. I am Reverend Jill Clements. I'm the founding senior minister here. And did you know we're about to celebrate 10 years? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's coming up, and your board and I are planning some celebration. We're not sure what we're going to do, but we're going to do something in January. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're with us for the very first time today, we welcome you wherever you may be on your spiritual journey. Know that you are welcome in this community. We're all on the journey somewhere on the path and finding our way, and it's lovely to be able to do it together in community. So glad you're with us. If you'd like to keep up with the community, you can sign up for our mailing list. You can do that on our website, scottsdalecsl.org. You can use the QR code here and on screen at home, or you can sign up in the lobby and we will get you added to that list. It's a once a week email that comes out on Saturday mornings that tells you what's happening, what we're talking about for the month, who's speaking, what our classes and events and workshops and all sorts of things are. And as I said, we are streaming this morning. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. And on Wednesday, we do a rebroadcast of the service on Facebook. And it's a wonderful midweek pick me up. I don't know about you, but some weeks, many weeks, I feel like I need a boost by Wednesday. You know, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's like, okay, I need a boost to get me through the rest of the week. And rewatching the broadcast is a way to do that. You can also go onto our website where we have a library of all of our videos that we have done. And you can see what we're talking about. If there's a particular topic that you like, you might find a whole video series about that topic that you could immerse yourself in for more or deeper information. So, what else do we do? We've got, it's not birthday Sunday. Why did I leave that in there? Oh, well, we wanted to celebrate Lee one more time. Yay! There you go. There you go. We have a wonderful community here at Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living, and we have a powerful mission, vision, and purpose, our reason for being here. Why do we come here and do this? So I would invite you to speak that into service with me this morning, please. Our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and community transformation. Our vision is a world that works for everyone. Our purpose is to awaken to our spiritual magnificence, and so it is. And in the good news department this morning, too good to go. Too good to go. Have you ever considered the amount of food that is wasted in America? Well, it's estimated that retailers alone, restaurants and grocery stores, toss about 2.5 million tons into landfills, incinerators, and compost heaps. 2.5 million tons. Now, a new generation of apps on our phones is rescuing more and more food from the landfills and getting it into people's bellies. These apps are built on the idea that good food should never go to waste. They connect people to restaurants and grocery stores about to toss food in the trash. Instead, it's sold for a fraction of the price. One person rescued a huge box of produce from the grocery, fancy pastries from a coffee shop, and an entire dinner of Nepalese, I'm probably mispronounced that, rice and chili from the landfill. Is it possible that this new generation of apps is going to prevent food waste and deliver a more affordable food to the nation? Two apps that we looked at is Flash Food and Too Good to Go. Flash is in the United States, primarily in the Northeast and Northern California. It's also up in Canada. They started in Canada. Both companies started in 2016. The other company is Too Good to Go. It started in Denmark. I didn't see it in the U.S. yet, but they have signed a partnership with Whole Foods. I checked our local Whole Foods, and I didn't see, you may have seen it being in there, surprise bags. Have you seen those at Whole Foods? Yeah? Yeah. So it's mystery food. You don't know what's in there, and they've got a price on it, right? And it's discounted. So it's coming, at least it's coming here. So, will they solve the food waste? Probably not on their own. Most food waste is generated by restaurants and grocery stores, but that's only about 60%. Over 40% of it is from households. It's from households. So, the author of this news said, even if we go and take this food from the groceries or the restaurants, we can't just go home and throw it away. Anybody have that habit? Take the leftovers home and they never make it in your belly? Or forget to take it, leave it on the table. Right, yeah. So I think this is a wonderful idea that's emerging. We'll see how it goes and see how much food we can keep out of the landfills and nourish our families and help folks that are needing a little extra help. I am proud to say that my company is affiliated with the Stockyards Restaurant, a historic steakhouse down by the airport, 75 years, and they have partnered with United Methodist Outreach Ministries, you may know as UMOM. UMOM comes by several times a week with a van and picks up their food so that it doesn't get disposed of and they can use it in their facility. So I am proud to be a part of that as well. All right, with that, I'm going to invite our practitioner of the day, Daniel, to come forward for our invocation this morning.
Well, good morning, everyone. So I'm going to start off with wishing Sarah Happy Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day in Thailand. So, but would but would like to honor all women, mothers included, all women, and they just make you guys just make this planet a better place for all of us. So thank you, and thanks for taking care of us children. So I'm reminded constantly that all women think of men as just large children. So it's not going to argue that point. Anyone to argue that? No, no. Bob, you're online with that. Okay. So I will be in the back for a spiritual treatment after service. There's also a prayer box. There's written requests that you can put in there, and we will pray for you, on you, with you, the whole week. And there are a variety of ways to do that. One is the prayer box, online, call in. No excuse for not getting the prayer support that you need in this community. We do an excellent job of that as well, if not better than any other spiritual center I've been involved with. It's great. Also, we have two other practitioners, and as I mentioned before, they're disguised as ministers. So if you need prayer support, they're on tap too, on staff. So thank you for that. And what else? I think that's it. So here we go. I got a couple quotes. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And then the other one I really like, I couldn't decide on both. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. So let's take that into prayer and get this service rocking. So I know for a fact that there is a spiritual presence. And this spiritual presence is known by many names. And I know that it is a creative life force that has literally created everything, including who we are, the universe, the chairs we're sitting on, the air we're breathing. All this was created by this spiritual life force. And it is filled with every possible life giving quality that you can imagine: perfect health, divine knowledge, love, laughter, anything that you can imagine, it's available in that life force. And that's constantly running through us. And so all we need to do is sit there, open our hearts up, and get filled with that virtual life presence. And I'm so grateful to be able to speak these words to each and every one of us, affirming that that is the truth. Give thanks and gratitude for this beautiful spiritual community center, for Reverend Lee's talk today, knowing that it is perfect and already complete in the mind of God, in the mind of Spirit. Reverend Jill, to each and every volunteer that make this community run so smoothly, to each and every member that support us with love and financial resources, so that we can go out into the world and welcome each and every person on their spiritual journey as we walk with them and we accept all faith belief systems. I give thanks for Jennifer and her lovely music this morning, as always. I give thanks for knowing that this is the truth of us, that whatever we want to create, it is within our mind to do that. And so I envision a world of peace, of joy, of hope, of happiness, and sending that message out throughout the world to heal what needs to be healed, to support whatever needs to be supported. And I know this to be true, as I simply give this away into that universal truth, into that belief system that always says yes to our words without any qualifications. And I know that this service is complete as it is right now, that we get whatever we need from this service, and it supports us in every way as this community does. And so this treatment is done, it is complete, and I simply give it away into that universal truth that always says yes. And so it is.
You are blessed. You are a blessing. 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 You are a blessing. You are a blessing.
Good morning, Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. You guys are always a sight for sore eyes. And for those of you who've skipped away for a little while or for all of the summer to get away at the Sonoran Desert, we see you and we feel you and we love you too. So we're going to talk a little bit about gratitude today. Gratitude is the ability to experience life as a gift. It liberates us from the prison of self-preoccupation. Reverend John Ortberg. Now, I know there are lots of you that have little things you're grateful for and big things, so we're going to pass around the microphone. And you can tell us about it. Raise your hand.
Oh, I am very grateful to the loving and, I don't know, the spiritual committee and community of Scottsdale CSL for the embracement of everything that I think about. It's this, especially this week, and practitioner Daniel. It really came home to me how much I enjoy this community and revel in it. Thank you.
I'm grateful for animals. So, somebody close to me is going through the loss of a pet this morning, and it just brought to mind how much I love my own pets and have loved pets throughout my life. And if anybody who's ever had a pet and lost a pet, we know it hurts in a really different way. And the reason it hurts, I think, is because we love them so much. And I think the reason we love them so much is because they love us so much and they add so much to our lives. And I'm just really grateful that the universe found it appropriate to create that relationship and these wonderful beings.
Good morning. I hope I got out of the way of the camera and I moved chairs there for you, Jim. I just wanted to thank everybody again for the community and the growth. I'm going through another class. I encourage all of you, if you haven't done one, do them all. It's just a wonderful growth period, and growth, as I just get goosebumps. It's not always straight up. Sometimes you slide back, and you keep going. And I appreciate Reverend Jill and the team here for helping me continue to grow.
Thank you. And I'm going to say I'm grateful for this class that I'm teaching. It's called Self Mastery. And it's a wonderful review for me because, as I always say, we're always learning, right? Even though I'm facilitating it, I'm learning right along with my students. And they bring so much to the class and teach me so much and make me think and go deeper in my own practices and my own realizations. So I'm really grateful to the class too. So
And the class says right back at you. It's a great class. I hadn't taken a class in over a year, and I thought, well, it's always so good to get back into the depths of something that you believe and that use. And I didn't realize how much I use the science of mind in my life. Okay, going to give you a few announcements. It's summer and it's hot, but there are lots of cool places and things to do around the valley, and you can host a summer grateful gathering. See Valerie and anyone at the desk for more information or to sign up to host a fun summer event. Valerie and I are talking about doing one end of September into October, about maybe on that boat again or something like that. And some other examples you can do are host a pool party, indoor miniature golf, indoor picnic, painting party, game night, or any ideas to fundraise for our organization here. So a reminder to all of you who have purchased tickets with Friends of the Arts for our Don Bluth Theater event on Friday, the 16th of August. We checked yesterday and there are still tickets available if anyone would like to join the Scottsdale Center group for dinner and a show. And tickets are available at www.donblufftheater.com. I have it if you want to look later. And save the date. There's a new class starting in September with Reverend Jill, beginning September 12th through November 7th for 8 weeks. Again on Thursday evening. Reverend Jill will be facilitating a prosperity class called Spiritual Economics. The class is based on the best-selling books by Eric Butterworth. If you're ready to change your consciousness about money and engage in more prosperous living, sign up beginning August 18th. That's when sign-ups begin for that September 12th class. And after our talk this morning, Reverend Lee will then open the mic for any of your suggestions or comments about some topics he might cover today. We have a basket outside for pens and pencils and pads if you want to write down anything that comes to you. But we will be passing the microphone around again. We love music at Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. Today we have the beautiful Jennifer Sheets with Gentle with Myself.
Thank you. So nice to see you all again. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Yes, I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And I know I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I will love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I will love myself like a newborn baby child.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So let's see where this goes. I was talking with Daniel and Reverend Jill this morning before we were getting started, and mentioned that this morning's talk was fighting back this morning as I was doing my final copy. But I think we got it. I think we got it going. The title this morning is This or That or This. And it's all about choices. The choices we make on our journey and how we shape this life that we live. Is that me or is that? No? All right, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. We're good? All right. This month we're talking about learning and the learning process and awakening our power, awakening spiritual power. And the process that we go through in getting to that and embracing that and really exploring what the nature of spiritual power is. What does that mean? Because sometimes, throwing the word spiritual and power together can seem a little paradoxical, can't it? Because we think of power as, weightlifting and aggression and all of that being power. But it also can be soft. Power can be the soft and gentle power of a river running over stone and years over years over years and over years softening and smoothing that stone. That's power. So what is it? Where are we headed? And what I want to talk to you and share with you about this morning is really the creative process and the process that we go through in shaping our lives and making change and growing and learning to create, learning how we can shape our lives and shape that creative force that is always moving in us and through us and around us, day in and day out. It's always moving, it's always happening. In the process that we can go through in developing our own inner intelligence, our own intuition, and how we can learn the process for ourselves of how we can shape that change and shape our lives. And so one of the things I thought about is when seemingly our lives start falling apart. I start, looking at my own life and saying, I face challenges from time to time. I think I may have found it. All of a sudden, life doesn't seem to be working, right? All of a sudden, life is like, what's going on? Why aren't things going the way I expect them to? Why isn't this working out the way I want it to? And all of a sudden, it feels like my life is just falling apart. Kind of like all of a sudden, the radio in my car is not working, and what I want to do is take a hammer to it. Not real productive, not real helpful. What would be helpful is I take that thing apart piece by piece, if I know what I'm assuming I know what I'm doing, and figuring out what's working, what's not working. And what occurred to me is when I was 8 years old, And I was being very curious about electronics, and my dad ordered, I'm aging myself here. When my dad ordered a Heathkit, how many of y'all are familiar with Heathkit? Heathkit, you used to be able to go down to the Heathkit store, and they would have all these electronic things that you could buy the kit, so you could take it home and put it together. And my dad and I went down to the store. No, I don't think I went with him. He went and got a little AM FM radio. It was about, I don't know, about like that. Portable. Yes, that was the size of a portable AM FM radio at the time. And it's black and had blue trim and a little silver face on it. And he brought it home, and I know he really wanted to do it for me. I know he did. But we spent a weekend putting it together. And he helped me solder, all the little resistors and capacitors into it. And over the weekend, we built this radio. And it worked. Yay! And I had it, I don't know how long, I must have had it for 15 years before it finally just quit. And so I learned how to put the radio together. And the reason this came up for me, and the reason it kind of occurred to me, is like, we learned to take we learned to take things apart and put them back together. And it's much like our lives, isn't it? When things aren't working for me, I go in and I examine my beliefs. I examine my thoughts and my ideas about what is it I believe to be true about prosperity? What is it I believe to be true about relationships? What are the things I believe to be true about the way my life works in a certain area? And I go through the process, like Reverend Joe was talking about last week, I go through the process of deconstructing my belief systems around a certain thing. Much like taking the radio apart and figuring out what's not working so I can put it back together, put a better belief system in place, a belief system that is not so limiting, one that is limitless, one that is life-giving, one that is life-expanding, rather than one that's getting in my way. I.e., you know what, I'm just not good enough. The universe is, there is some ultimate conspiracy going on out there in the world that says, you know what, I don't get to succeed. I don't get to be happy. I don't get to be worthy. I don't get to feel thus and such about my life. When what we hold to be true is that each and every one of us is worthy, is deserving, does get to succeed when we decide that we are. When I remember that I am good enough. When I remember that I do matter. When I remember that I am on this planet for a purpose and a reason, even if it's simply just to love the person right next to me. And to love the people around me, because each and every one of us is indeed an expression of the divine, a human being worthy of love. And am I willing to give myself the same level of consideration that I tend to give others? It's very easy for us, I'll speak for myself, it's very easy for me to celebrate other people. It's very easy for me to look at the success of others and applaud. Sometimes I find it more difficult to give myself that same consideration. And I know that's a challenge for a lot of people. Because you know what? I know where all the skeletons are hidden in my life. Nope. Oops. Wow. Really? I think you get the point, right? I make mistakes. Is that okay? You make mistakes. It's okay for you to make mistakes. But in the middle of the night, frequently, when I wake up and something's going on, and all those little mistakes that I've made in the last 10, 15, 20 years start creeping into my consciousness, I'm like, stop, enough. Because I've learned from all of those. And sometimes I make the same mistake again. Yeah. But eventually I get it right. Eventually I decide to step beyond that. Eventually I decide to forgive myself for whatever it is I have done and say, you know what? Enough. Enough. I get to draw a line in the sand of my life and say, you know what? No. I am moving forward. Everything I've done up until now has created me as I am. Absolutely. And from this point forward, I get to choose differently if I want to, or choose to remain the same if I want to in this area. I get to evaluate the entire content of my consciousness, should I choose, pull out the beliefs that no longer work, put in the beliefs that do work, and move forward new. And if I get triggered along the way, if I get upset by this, that, or the other, by the chaos that may ensue because I've made that change, I get to pause and breathe, reset, regulate, and make a very conscious choice rather than being in some reactionary mode that really isn't serving me. Anybody else have that challenge? Yeah. I get to choose differently. And we have all kinds of tools that we practice that we talk about here at the center. Meditation, affirmations, spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, whatever phrase you want to apply to it. Ernest Holmes writes this: God moves upon God. This is the starting point of creation. Every time one conceives of an idea, it is God expressing itself. It is eternally knowing and eternally known through everyone. It is God's nature to know, and there is an emotional craving or desire for expression inherent in the universe. The universe is forever seeking expression through creation, and we are part of that. And it is the entire content of our consciousness, the dominant tendency of our thought and our thinking on an ongoing basis that gives shape to that experience in our lives. We determine how that shows up for us. It's not one particular thought or idea. It is a whole pattern of thinking. And one idea at a time, we get to change that. And every time we change it, our experience changes for us. So let's make that a change that is life affirming. Let's make that change one that is life expanding. one that is more love, more light, more life, more peace, more power, more beauty, more joy, more abundance, health, wholeness, joy, expansion. And remember that even when we enter into those times of chaos or darkness or whatever it is, we still carry the light with us because it's right here inside of us. And we can bring the light to those dark spaces. In each and every moment of our lives, we are at choice about how we get to respond, how we get to create. Ernest Holmes goes on to say this in The Science of Mind. He says, the essence of spiritual mind healing is an inner realization of the presence of perfection within and around about. An inner realization of the presence of perfection in and around about. So let's talk about that perfection. What does that look like? I don't know that I don't believe there is any fixed image of what that perfection looks like. There's a divine idea of each and every one of us that says that I am an individualized expression of this divine. God moving upon God. Spirit moving upon spirit. I hold that each and every one of us is a loving, joyful, joy-filled being. That there's a perfect outpicturing of the divine idea of me waiting for me to get out of the way. For me to let go of ideas of limitation. That I grow into this expansive idea of me. And so how do we do that? How do I get there? By learning. By spending time in prayer and meditation. By spending time contemplating how much more I'm willing to accept, how much good I'm willing to make room for in my life. One of the tools we talk about here, like I mentioned before, is spiritual mind treatment. Affirmative prayer. We talk about 5 steps. Recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. The whole process that we move through that says, I recognize that there is this infinite power and presence that is God. It is love and light and joy and all of these wonderful things, all these wonderful experiences and expressions, these feelings that I can have inside of myself. And it's in this presence that I live and move and have my being, and it moves through me and around me in each and every moment. Every breath I take is the activity of spirit, and it moves in me and through me and around me in every moment of this life I live. And because it is love, I am love, and I am loving, and I am lovable. And in every moment of my life, I feel this love. I express this love. I experience this love. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it because I know it's true. And I let it be. And I affirm it, and I accept it, and I celebrate it. And it can be that simple to move through those steps in a real easy, flowing manner. And we practice it, and we teach it. We take the classes, and we work through it, and we get to the point where it just becomes a part of who we are. And I get to a point where I just walk and talk with this spiritual presence. So that when it comes time for me to make these choices between this or that or this, I get to move forward in a way that is more life-giving, right? You're like, yeah, Reverend Lee, that all sounds so easy. And you've been doing it so long, Reverend Lee. I remember you telling this story about 1970, da 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 da. And you've done it your whole life, and da 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 da. Yeah, and I still run into challenges. I still run up against myself. I still bump up against my own little limiting thinking because da 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 da. Right? I do. I still struggle with the fact that I've been on medical leave for the last so many weeks. And tell the story about how I'm not wired to just sit around all day waiting to heal. Right? Truth is, I finally let go after about a week. I was like, okay, I'm here. I'll be still. I'll quit stretching. I'll quit pushing the envelope. And I relaxed into it. I still found a workaround, though. Hopefully, I'll be going back to work next week. We'll see. I called my boss and said, hey, what if I told you I found a way to do 70, 80% of my job without lifting over 15 pounds at a time? He said, as long as your doctor signs off on it, we're good with it. I said, great. So I'll be talking to the doctor's office on Monday. But you see, that's it. There is a way. The universe will support us when we just decide to let it. When we get out of our own way and stop telling the stories about how we can't and begin telling stories about how we can. Right? It was like even the students in class in many classes over the years, it's like, Reverend Lee, I just can't get the spiritual mind treatment right. It's like I got this and I got these words and I got this words and I got this and I got that. And I'm like, hey, once you practice, once you have the basic idea, sit down and talk to God. Sit down and talk to spirits. Sit down and talk to your higher power, whatever name you want to give it, and say, you know what? This is the experience of life I choose. And I know, Divine Purple Penguin, that you're going to create the way for me. All I got to do is show up. Show up and take the steps. So I'm going to make it real simple for everybody. We've done this before in here, but it's time for a review. So everybody stand up, please. If you choose to stand up, please stand. Because this works better because it's got hand motions. We're all going back to junior church. This is the way we teach spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, whatever, however you want to frame it, in junior church. So are you ready? Are we ready? Yes, we're ready. Hand motions. God is. I am. Give yourself a big hug. I am. I have. And you notice in the I have, our hands are open. We're not grabbing on real tight. Because we don't have to hold on real tight to whatever it is, right? We allow it. So again, God is. Hug ourselves. I am. I have. Thank you. And farewell. All right. All right. You may seat. Bravo. Well done. Bravo. Well done. God is. I am. I have. Thanks. And farewell. I decided to change it to farewell. I was thinking about it this morning. There's a reason behind that. We should just say bye now. Okay. But I chose to think of it as farewell because it's farewell until we meet again. You see, because I'm wholly expecting a response. Okay? So I'll be talking to the junior church folks about that. Affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment is about giving shape to a creative process that is always going on. Right? The flow of spirit, the flow of the divine never stops. It is always going on. It is moving in us, through us, around us, as us, at all times. At all times. And yes, at times that activity can seem chaotic. And it seems chaotic because sometimes what is present in our lives needs to be removed in order to make room for what we've asked for. Sometimes we need to deconstruct things, move things out of the way in order to create room for what we're saying we really want, to make room for what we are accepting. And so if we can pause in the face of that chaos, if we can pause in the face of that process, if we can hang on through what seems to be dissonant activity, we can return to that place of attunement, where all of a sudden what seems to be out of alignment, we find to be really in alignment with what is our heart's desire. So we get to make these choices. Finally, Ernest Holmes says this: we should strive toward a perfect vision, a perfect conception. We should expand our thought until it realizes all good. And when I read that the first time, I was like, perfect vision, perfect conception. Yeah, I kind of get that. And then he goes on, we should expand our thought until it realizes all good. That expansion never stops. Because that activity of spirit is always going on. My conception of what good was when I was 8 is completely different from what my conception of what good is now. Good when I was 8 was this cool radio sitting on my counter. Good for me now is just constantly perplexed by the fact that I know in another 5 or 7 years the technology will change and I'll be buying the White Album again. Right? Change is always going on. We are always going to be adapting to it, adjusting to it. And then when we finally get the idea that we are the agents of change in our own lives, and that we indeed have the agency, that we are the central agent of change in our own lives. When I let go of the stories about how I've not been good enough and start telling stories about how I deserve every possible good thing that I can accept and celebrate and really know that I am worthy of, when I get to that place, those things will show up for me. When I forgive myself for all of the things that I said I have done wrong, for all the harm that I have done. And yeah, there have been those times. and say, you know what? I've learned from it. I'm moving on. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm sharing those solutions where it's appropriate, and on and on and on and on and on. I get to get out of my own way, let go, and let God be God as it chooses to express through me, and as I choose for it to be expressed through and as me. As a loving being, a joyful being, an abundant, healthy, and whole being in this life, I get to make those choices. And you get to make those choices day in and day out. And so let's look at our spiritual practice for this week. Pause and allow the storm of change to become still. In the face of change, discomfort, the unexpected, we will pause, breathe, center, and regulate before responding or acting. This is a big challenge for a lot of people. It's a big challenge for me. Has been historically. Something crosses my path, something happens that I don't think is right, and right? Lizard brain kicks in before I can even begin to think, right? What's nice is the more we practice this, the more we practice the pause, the more we make the conscious choice to stop, breathe, stomp your feet on the ground, okay, and respond consciously before reacting. So much moves along so much better when we can do that. So this week we practiced the pause, because one of the things that the pause does is it empowers us to make the conscious choice to move our lives forward in a way that is life expanding rather than a way that is a life limiting. This gives me the opportunity to make the expansive choice, the healing choice, the healthy choice, the spirit-centered choice. So this week we practiced the pause. Deal? Pinky swear? All right. So we're going to do that. So now it's your turn. We've got a few minutes for your questions and comments. Victoria?
I wonder what the term regulate means.
Regulate. Regulate means to allow myself to return to center, to be more grounded. It's more of a clinical term these days. To regulate is to come back into alignment with myself, to settle into me. Okay, rather than being upset, it's like calming the waters of the storm. Okay, is that helpful? Perfect, great. Anybody else? All right, Kim.
So your talk today is like a summary of self-mastery, and what they don't tell you when you take the class is that everything that's unlike it shows up in it. So you get to walk through it, but at least in the class you have support.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to say is, so often in doing personal development work and trying to let go and let spirit live in your life, sometimes everything disintegrates as you start doing it. And then you have to be patient, stop, pause, and just keep knowing that it's going to reintegrate back into something at a higher level. And then, of course, a few days later, a few weeks later, it begins to happen again. And that's what this class really is about. And I'm thankful for it, and thankful to my classmates who give so much support, and Reverend Jill. So, thank you.
Great. Thank you. Yes, that's absolutely true, Kim. Stephen?
Intellectually, it all makes sense. You sit here, and go, yeah. It's good. You sit down, you try to do it, and you go, shit, I'm a done some of it because it just I begin self doubting myself. Is this the right thing? Should I do this? Should I do that? It takes you down to a level that you just go, I really don't know. And the next question is then to surrender. And does it look like it's somebody that I would surrender a lot to? It's difficult for me up until now. And it's the getting to the point where you just trust and believe and say, yep, I'm going to go on my way. I'm going to get out of my own way and just let things happen the way they're supposed to, the way they're intended. And I'm in the process of learning that every day.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you. All right. Let's just take this. Let's take this inside into prayer real quick. I know we're running up against the clock. All right. God is all there is. Universal life, mind, intelligence, divine love. It is everywhere present. It is right where we are, right here and right now. It is love and peace and joy. It is an intelligent action within us, in our minds and hearts. It is the truth of our being at this and every moment. And so right here, right now, I speak these words for myself, for each and every one here present, for everybody listening online. I am so grateful for each and every one. And I'm grateful for the unfoldment and the revelation of the divine idea of each and every one of us right here and right now. I know for myself and for each and every one that love points the way. That life is forever expanding through and as each and every one of us, that we are fully expressing our potential in this and every moment. Every breath, every thought, every idea, every action is divinely guided as we move through this and every moment. I know that each and every one of us is blessed and that we go forward into the rest of this day, into our lives, the community that we serve, the communities we live in, wherever we are a blessing. That the light shines forth from within us to bless everyone around us. And so with gratitude, we move forward into the rest of this day and this week, knowing that all is well, that life is good and very good, as each and every one of us. And so we let it be, and so it is.
What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed, would the wind always fill up my sails? How far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to be what we secretly dream? And what would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? You know there are. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? I am brave, I'll walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'll never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step will I take today? I am brave. What will I do 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 today? I am brave. Thank you.
Wonderful. I've always loved that song. What would I do if I were brave? What would you do if you were brave? Well, it is time for grateful giving. So I invite everyone online and in the room to join us in the spiritual practice of circulating our good to and through the community. Ernest Holmes says, I know that my good is increased and multiplied as it is scattered. I am both an inlet and an outlet for the passage of divine love, life, and power. Wherever I go, then I shall impart the divine blessing which I have received. And we have lots of ways that you can give. We have links on our website, including Zelle. There's a donate button there on the website. If you choose to make that donation reoccurring, you can pick up a tithe ticket on Sunday mornings when you come in as a reminder to you of the circulation that you have created in your life. And that goes into the basket. Your donation comes out automatically on whatever schedule you choose. We also have a Money Finders Prosperity Program. If you are looking, congratulations, Reverend Lee. If you are looking for additional prosperity or to build your prosperity consciousness, in addition to taking the spiritual economics class that's coming up in September, you can participate in the Money Finders program. What we focus on expands. And so when you carry one of these green envelopes with you throughout the week, you notice the things that come to you serendipitously. Things happen, good things happen. You get an extra discount at the store. You get a free dessert with your dinner. Someone buys you a cup of coffee or lunch, whatever it might be. Maybe you win tickets to something. You keep 90%, you tithe 10% of the value here. And the more we do that, the more we notice that good and the more of that good that shows up in our lives. So that's a wonderful program for proving prosperity. I've seen many of you do that in this community, and I've seen it in my life. Zelle donations. Zelle is a little confusing, I'm finding out. Zelle works through your bank account. Okay, we can give you a QR code, but it's going to just refer you to your bank account. So you have to go through whoever you bank with and see if they do Zelle. And then from that, you can make your donation to Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. And if you've got Zelle and you've paid friends and split dinners or whatever that is, you do the same thing. You just put in our donations at scottsdalecsl.org as your payee, and then it comes directly into our account with no service charges or anything to either of us. So that's basically how it works. It's not really a thing where it goes directly from a QR code or something on the Zelle, okay? We do have QR codes for PayPal. That will get you into the credit card system. You can do that from here, from home, or we'll help you out at the front desk. We can take them directly up there as well. And Kim is our usher today, circulating her beauty and her joy through the service as she will come by and collect your donations if you choose to make them that way. If you're using cash today, I invite you to use an envelope. These are available in the lobby. Make sure I have your email address and your name so you get credit for that at the end of the year. We're a 501(c) nonprofit organization, and you do get a tax deduction for all of your donations here. Affirmation. Please join me. I am an open channel through which prosperity flows. I accept the divine flow of goodness, ideas, and substance through me now. I am grateful for my full and prosperous life, and so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I'm so grateful.
Please join me in blessing that which has been circulated here today from the bountiful blessings that this community has been in receipt of today, from the smiles, the volunteers, the beautiful message from Reverend Lee, the amazing songs from Jennifer, from everyone that is here in room, online, listening later. We are just so blessed as a community. I know that each that has chosen to give their financial good this day, that gift is blessed, pressed down to overflowing in their lives as they step confidently into this law of circulation. I know, too, that Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living is a grateful receiver as it receives all of this financial good to continue its ministries, its work in the world of circulating this message to more and more people each and every day. We are so blessed, so grateful, and so it is. Few closing announcements if you'd like prayer today. Daniel is our prayer practitioner of the day. Reverend Lee and I are also available if he gets too busy, which would be a good thing. The prayer box is at the lobby table. You can also use our website for 24/7 prayer requests at any time. And remember to stop by the front desk and talk to the folks about Grateful Gatherings and hosting an event. I'm thinking about doing the golf thing again. Ah, that was fun. A little indoor putt-putt glow.
We do have an event start on September 21st. It's the game night.
All right, game night at Reverend Lee's. Okay, so save the date for September 21st. Okay, great. Save that. So we'll pick some other things. Got some fun stuff coming up. It's fall-esque, even though it's not cool yet. This Friday, Friends of the Art Gathering. I'm really excited about this. I love this little theater. And we're gathered, I think it's 5:15 at the Canton Grill, a Chinese restaurant. Canton Dragon, okay. And that's followed by Neil Simon's play God's Favorite just around the corner. So again, if you'd like to join us, there are more tickets online available. You can buy your tickets online and just join us at the restaurant if you'd like, or join us at the theater. It's going to be a fun event. Next Sunday, we're going to continue to awaken to our spiritual power with my talk, Get Out of Jail Free card. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. Science of Mind teaches us that we've learned everything we need to from suffering. Would you agree? Yes. So why do we still suffer? We are going to discover what it is, how to end it, if not forever, at least more quickly. At least more quickly. And get out of the prison of suffering. Please stand for our affirmation this morning. Join me if you would. I live in peace and share my joy. I am empowered by spiritual truth. Today I engage the world as entirely new. And so it is.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, still running just to make it through another day, gotta let it go. Gotta let it all go. Are you listening? You got to let it all go. And this is what you have.